We all knew that there was some sort of conspiracy, that there was more to the story, that the narrative didn't add up. And this entire time, they were telling us, just wait for the trial. Just wait for the preliminary hearing. Just wait till we see the evidence. They have a mountain of evidence. We're going to see it all. And it's all going to make sense. And we're all going to see and understand that Tyler Robinson did this. That Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk as a lone shooter with a 30-06. So tonight we're going to stick to the preliminary hearings for the most part, but I did want to start with a little montage of some clips that I made that I just to like remind everybody what they were telling us in the beginning. Nope, that's not the one I wanted to. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just start with this. Let's just start with this. We'll just get this one out of the way. Because all the cameras that they have, all the resources that the state of Utah, the FBI, whoever else they could have gotten involved in this investigation, this is, to my understanding, the only definitive image that we have to positively identify Tyler Robinson in this whole investigation. And it came from Candace Owens. So for anybody that wants to like nitpick on her and talk about what she got wrong or this detail or gaslight her for whatever, let's not forget that she is the only one to present the only image of Tyler Robinson on September 10th. Everything else, I don't know. You see multiple outfits, a guy in shorts, a guy in this outfit, a guy limping with the left leg. All of a sudden, he's limping with the right leg. Seems to like shoot up a couple inches. You know, like a lot of indiscrepancies, even with the car. You know, and we're also going to talk about things that they left out. They kept telling us that they got all this evidence, and that they knew that he was a lone shooter. They left out the part that his vehicle was seen driving around UVU on the night of September 10th with not one, not two, not even three individuals, but four, including a bald driver. Now, let's assume that Lance Twiggs or Tyler Robinson wasn't in that car. Let's assume that it was either Lance Twiggs or Tyler Robinson with three other individuals, right? Four in the car, and then either Lance Twiggs or Tyler Robinson, whoever wasn't there, hypothetically. That's five individuals on the day of the assassination. Not only would that really make me skeptical of this idea that he was a lone shooter, but that's also the number of people whose DNA was found on the weapon. You potentially have five individuals, maybe six, if Lance Twiggs or Tyler Robinson wasn't in that car. But between 4 and 6 individuals that were in what's supposed to be Tyler Robinson's vehicle at the scene of the crime, the night that it happened, and you have 5 different people's DNA on the weapon. They also left out, which we'll get more into in a little bit, that apparently Tyler Robinson had interactions with multiple people from TPUSA at the event before the alleged unaliving, or before the unaliving allegedly happened at the hands of Tyler Robinson. They never mentioned that. Andrew Colvett, Blake Neff, the security, Erica Kirk, Mikey McCoy, Rob McCoy, none of these people, they left that little detail out. And when Blake Neff got asked about it on the X Spaces, he said he's not telling. His lips are sealed. But Blake, I thought you were there to answer questions. I guess not. But all right, let's get to my little clip, just for like a little refresher of what they were saying back in September.
He has not confessed to authorities. He is not cooperating. But all the people around him are cooperating, and I think that's very important.
Was left wing by pretty much all available evidence, including people who knew him well, people who have said this openly. According to Kash Patel, he left some sort of note saying he had an opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and that he was going to take it. This is according to Kash Patel, the head of the FBI. He said that the authorities have seen evidence of a text message exchange between the shooter and a second individual. Quote, his family has collectively told investigators he subscribed to left-wing ideology, and even more so in these last couple of years.
Hold on. Did Tyler Robinson's family talk to the investigators and tell them that he was a lefty or subscribing to left-wing ideology? Because I haven't heard that from the parents. I haven't heard that from the multiple people that I know that have spoken to the parents, that have spoken to the family. I'm hearing that from Ben Shapiro. I'm hearing that from, who is that, the governor? Governor Cox? Let's keep going.
He claimed he had an opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and he was going to do it.
Who claimed that they had an opportunity and that they were going to take out Charlie Kirk? You know, we'll get to it in a little bit, but from the testimony, Lance Twiggs, the star witness, the one who this entire case is built around, he said Tyler Robinson never talked about Charlie Kirk. He said Tyler Robinson didn't really talk about politics much. He was against some of Trump's policies. He didn't identify him as a leftist. He said that he doesn't remember him talking about gay or trans legislation. In fact, he didn't even definitively identify Tyler Robinson in any of those images. I mean, I'm not talking about the image from Candace. I'm sure he would have with that one. But any from the investigation. He said he had never seen the hat before, that it looked like him, and that Tyler wears jeans. But again, we'll get more to this stuff in a little bit.
His hatred of what Charlie stood for. Lance Twiggs, 22, an aspiring pro-gamer, and Robinson's roommate, appeared to have made a comment in a 2022 Reddit post stating, "We are riding with Biden on this glorious subreddit." Twiggs is transitioning from male to female and was in a relationship with the 22-year-old Robinson. This is according to Governor Spencer Cox.
There were reports yesterday that we can confirm that his roommate was indeed a boyfriend who is transitioning from male to female. That's information that the FBI had mentioned yesterday. We can't confirm.
Listen, spoiler alert. Lance Twiggs doesn't look furry. He doesn't look tranny. He doesn't sound gay. He does remind me of one of those Columbine unalivers back in the day. He kind of reminds me of Michael Myers in one of the Halloween remakes made by Rob Zombie. I think that those two things would fit the description way more than what these guys are saying. But again, we'll get there.
Confirm that as well.
Authorities are investigating whether Tyler Robinson believed Kirk's view on gender identity were hateful to people like Robinson's transgender roommate. And they keep calling it transgender roommate. No, you mean boyfriend. Apparently, they had a romantic relationship, and that's a hell of a way to demean the nature of romance, but sure. Investigators believe Robinson's anger at Kirk's views could be a key to establishing a motive for the slaying of Charlie Kirk.
You know, it's funny that they talk about motive because there's nothing that we've seen or heard from Tyler Robinson to believe that there was any motive. And early on in the preliminary hearings, the prosecutors were trying to get alleged evidence in there to try to establish the motive and make it religion. Because, it's Utah, Mormons. You got to pull on those heartstrings. But personally, it sounds to me like if anyone had a motive, it's Lance Twiggs. But let's keep going. Steven Crowder. He loves furries. Let's hear what he had to say.
Is a leftist. The shooter is gay with a trans boyfriend, and by that I mean a boyfriend who says he's going to be a woman. That means the shooter is gay. He did carve or etch anti-fascist sayings, trans, furry, weird fetish culture shit on the.
All right, we've seen a couple engravings, but I don't recall any weird trans, furry culture crap. I do feds to find. I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking right now. But anyway, let's keep going.
Acings. It's all verifiable.
You got to love it when they say it's all verifiable. Because I got to tell you, 5 days, 40-something hours of listening to all this crap. And I don't know if any of it's verifiable. Well, like, whatever. Brandon Tatum, Mr. Salem Media, Mr. #1 advocate for Erica Kirk. Let's hear what he had to say. This was, again, back in early September. This was after Charlie was assassinated, obviously, and also about a week or so after his interview with Prime Minister of our not so greatest ally, Benjamin Netanyahu. Let's just remember that.
You turn your son in knowing that he committed a crime such as this, which is an assassination, an intentional murder. He premeditated it, and he did it for political reasons.
Again, assuming he did it, saying his father turned him in, knowing that he was going to get the big D penalty, and saying it was for political reasons. And this is what they were telling us for 10 months. And then we get there, and it's like, are you sure?
When you say, I'm going to turn my son into the authorities, you are turning him in knowing he can get the death penalty.
Mm-hmm. It's in addition to that, we have that Discord chat that came out.
And here's, who is that, Jack Posobiec? It's funny because the next clips that I'm going to play are also going to be Brandon Tatum and Jack Posobiec. We're going to see what they're saying today, and we're going to see if we could verify that as well.
Right.
Where,
spoiler alert, it's getting debunked.
He said, I don't have it in front of me, but it's something to the extent of, hey, guys, I don't know if you saw the news, but it was me in Utah.
Let's see what Brandon Tatum had to say today.
It was emotional. That last video that they showed that was zoomed in, you could see it as clear as the noonday sun that he came into the facility. He climbed onto the roof. He was in a prone position. He took a shot, ran and jumped off the roof, just like the testimony showed. It was emotional to see Erica have to watch that, and to have the person who killed her husband in the courtroom. It was emotional. It made me upset at the reality of this, because Charlie was a good man, just doing what God called him to do. All
right. So Brandon Tatum is claiming that today at court that they played a video zoomed in that shows Tyler Robinson allegedly on the roof, allegedly firing the shot, allegedly, that allegedly unalived Charlie Kirk. Let's see what Jack Posobiec had to say.
I think everything's been proven. I think it's
He thinks everything's been proven. What? You mean that Tyler Robinson didn't do it?
I think it's proven. I would say beyond probable cause at this point. I think that the question for me is how do you even get reasonable doubt? You see everything.
You see everything. You see everything. We haven't even seen Tyler's face yet.
He assembles the gun. He runs over to the edge. Gets down in a prone position, and you see the time, and we all know what time. And it was like so slow, just watching those seconds click, click, click.
Oh my God, it's so slow listening to you.
And he takes the shot.
He does.
And then immediately runs. And we've seen that video already, but
oh my God.
I knew we were going to watch that, but I wasn't.
You did?
I wasn't prepared to see this side of what.
Really? You weren't prepared to see that side? What do you mean? What do you mean? What about on September 10th when we all saw the close-up footage of Charlie? We all saw that. You saw that. And you weren't prepared for this? That got all emotional? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me? Now, this post was of Jack Posobiec, posted by Liz Wheeler. And it says, there is a video of Tyler Robinson taking the shot that killed Charlie Kirk. It played in court today. He crawled over the rail, lies prone, pulls the trigger, then gets up and runs away like the evil, gutless coward he is. I'm weeping watching Jack recount it. Now, keep in mind, Liz Wheeler, Jack Posobiec. Liz Wheeler, Jack Posobiec. You know, part of that op where the administration pretended to give us the Big E files. And they showed up to the White House with the files of stuff we'd already seen. And they're like, we got it. Look at their serious face. Look at their... Back then, they had the serious face. Today, they got the weepy face. Up. And then what do you know? Brandy Siciliani. Shout out to her. She was also at the courthouse today. What did she have to say about this? I was in the courtroom today. There is no high-quality, zoomed-in footage showing anyone taking a shot. The video shown is the same distance as the footage of Tyler jumping off the roof shown in this screenshot. Who should I believe? Who should I believe? The people that have been feeding us the same crap that is now getting debunked in the preliminary hearings? The people who went to the White House and told us that they got the files when they didn't? Or the other girl who was one of Charlie's biggest fans and has been following the case ever since. Got into this because of Charlie. I don't know. Who should I believe? Let's see. Was there anybody else there today? Oh, what do you know? It's Kelly Raybon.
Hey guys, Kelly Raybon here on the ground in Utah. I have been outside the courthouse all week long for the Tyler Robinson hearing, and now I really understand why they had so many TPUSA aligned podcast hosts there inside the courtroom as VIPs. They needed to control the narrative. It is crystal clear to me that even if they lied to you, they would do it at all costs. So today, the judge showed some additional videos from UVU specifically, including a video on the rooftop. So now the Benny Johnsons and the Brandon Tatums and the Jack Posobics, and I'm sure because Donald Trump Jr. was in there earlier this week, he'll be saying this too. They're saying that
I'm not sure if Brandon Tatum still gets his content distributed by Salem Media, the same Salem Media that has the chief strategic officer, Bradley Pascal, who is a registered foreign agent for our not so greatest ally, and the same Salem Media that is in part owned by Donald Trump Jr. Just a refresher, just for the record.
that you could see in 4K quality Tyler running across the roof and pulling the trigger. Well, Billy and Brandy were in the courthouse, and they say that is simply not true. It was not conclusive video. While there was, for the first time, the opportunity to see a figure, very blurry, approach the edge of the roof, you could not see, according to Billy, the trigger pulled, and you could not see if the face even looked.
All right, so apparently Kelly wasn't in the courtroom, but she's referencing Brandy and Billy. All right, so we have two people. We have some corroboration of the story.
Looked like Tyler. So be aware, be wary, and just know, I think the TPUSA recognizes that they are losing control of the narrative. They are losing the case. And this is maybe a last-ditch effort, or at least a big-ditch effort, to try to sway public opinion and manipulate people. You all know that TPUSA has lied to us countless times. Do not fall for this one, okay? Don't throw in the towel just yet.
Very, very interesting. You know what? I'm not even sure what clip this is, but let's just get right back to the clips. This is from day one.
All the time I was looking for a spent shell casing. I couldn't see one. I was looking over the edge, looking all over the place, making sure the gravel wasn't disturbed, and I couldn't find a shell casing at that moment.
And that would be, the reason you would be looking for that was because some types of guns, when they shoot, eject a casing automatically, right? Some
Yes.
do, some don't,
Yes.
right? And then you also didn't find any unshot bullets.
No.
Okay. Are you aware of there being a bullet found on another roof
I'm not.
vicinity?
What's that? Another bullet on another roof? They never told us about that. They never told us about that. Now, I believe it was David Hull, the lead investigator on the case, that would later testify that there was a bullet found on another roof, that it was not a 30-06, but a 223, the same caliber that many people like myself have theorized that if Charlie was shot in the neck, that it would have been a 223 or a 5.56. But David Hull, the lead investigator on the case, originally testified that the bullet came from law enforcement. So wait, hold on. So they don't have a single piece of footage that can actually verify and identify Tyler Robinson on the scene. They also don't have any footage or video, any footage or image that could positively identify the weapon. So that means that the only real physical evidence on the scene is a bullet on a different roof that's already been testified by the lead investigator on the case to be connected to law enforcement. I am very confused. I waited 10 months for this mountain of evidence that I was promised that was going to show that beyond a shadow of a doubt that Tyler Robinson did this with a 30-06 and he was a lone shooter, and that Erica Kirk, even though she forgave him, wanted to expedite the trial, that she saw the evidence, that she was sure it was him, and she wanted to move things along, even though he was facing the death penalty. I'm sure Charlie would be proud of her right now.
Be crystal clear. You asked if there's any portion of this video that captures, and I believe you asked of the actual shooting. There's no video of that. There is video, however, and you've heard testimony related to this.
Wait, there's no video capturing the actual shooting? What do you got? Some grainy footage from far back of a guy running on the roof?
Where the shooter goes to the top of the low-C building, goes out to the edge of the building, low crawls, and then leaves after what we assume is the shot being fired. That's
after what they assume. After what they assume is the shot being fired. That's kind of a contradiction to what Liz Wheeler, Jack Posobiec, and Brandon Tatum said a couple of days later. They said that shit today, that they saw it. There are other witnesses that were in the courtroom with them that are saying they didn't. And we have testimony from days ago saying it doesn't exist. Could somebody tell me what the fuck is going on? I might have to call Gary. I'm sure Gary has a very rational explanation for this. Oh, that's right. I already did. And we're going to debate on Wednesday. And I can't fucking wait. But you know what? I don't want that to come off wrong because I'm actually starting to like Gary. I don't know what his role is. I at this point, I want to believe that he's just like a true believer because he believes in Trump and he loves America. So I don't want it to look like I'm taking shots. I am very friendly and cordial with Gary. I made all those videos. I talked all that shit. But when I actually talked to him, when we actually had conversations, when we spent 5 hours on a stream together, he was respectful and he kept his word. So I will give him that. But I will leave it at that because I don't know what the fuck he's thinking by continuing to push this bullshit. And shout out to Ian Carroll because he was the one that showed me this trick. We got links. Oh, shit. I could do this? I didn't even know I could do this. Let's see. Which ones you want to see? Lance Twiggs, agent exhibit presentation? Yeah, let's start with this. Why not? Look at this. It's like fucking magic. It's like magic. It's just like the magic bullet that they're trying to say killed Charlie. I just click the link and the fucking thing pops up. This is beautiful. I'm so happy right now. There he is, guys. Lance Twiggs. Lance Twiggs, the trans, gay, leftist furry who didn't have to testify at the preliminary hearing, got limited immunity, was able to send in this footage And his family also just happened to like run into all this money and open up 8 LLCs. That's not suspicious. But guys, don't worry. Don't worry. The feds had no reason to believe that he was involved. In fact, and this is like what blew my mind, is when they referred to him and they referred to this, they said the word statement. They said the word interview. But they didn't say interrogation. They didn't say arrest. And I don't know about you guys, but if there's an assassination at this high of level, somebody that's friends with the sitting president, you would expect his roommate and everyone that could have been involved to get hauled in cuffs and interrogated. And then you talk about the release. You know, just like bring him in for a recorded interview and cut him a check, right? That doesn't make sense. But anyway, let's hear what this gay leftist tranny has to say about Tyler Robinson.
Is to use your statement here instead of your testimony.
Oh shit, furry. I left out furry. Let's hear it.
Hearing. Understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in order to do that, I need to place you under oath and also give you an admonition about false statements. Okay. First, you do solemnly swear or affirm that the evidence you shall give in this issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Yes.
I also need to notify you that you are notified.
I don't know about you guys, but that seems like a pretty deep yes, right? You would expect like something a little more feminine, like yes. You know, he is a gay leftist trans furry that's dating Tyler Robinson. I expected a yes. He's like, yes. Like, whoa. Red flag. Oh, shit. What's going on here? All right, let's go.
Notified the statements you are about to make may be presented to a magistrate or a judge in lieu of your sworn testimony at a preliminary examination. Any false statement you make and that you do not believe to be true may subject you to criminal punishment as a Class A misdemeanor. You understand that?
Yes.
It potentially could be used as
wait, any false statement you get a Class A misdemeanor? How about suspicion of accessory after the fact, or conspiracy to murder, or obstruction, or any real charge?
punishment as a higher offense as obstruction of justice.
Oh, there you go. He might get charged with obstruction, but don't worry, guys. They're not even thinking about charging him with murder.
In addition, I just want to make sure that our recording here is clear that you've also been given a federal agreement and a state agreement granting you immunity from prosecution for materials that you discuss now. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First, we're going to cover some of the things that you've already talked about, but to make it as part of this record. First, what's your name?
Full name with middle name or just first and last?
First and last is fine.
Okay, my name is Lance Twiggs.
And do you know Tyler Robinson?
Yes, I do. Well, yeah, I do.
And this is the same Tyler Robinson that's been charged.
Yo, again, the tone of the voice. This is not what I was expecting. I thought with this mountain of evidence that, proved that he was like a gay leftist trans furry, that he was just going to sound a little bit different. Like, listen to his voice. Listen to his voice. I sound more feminine than he does.
Charged with the shooting of Charlie Kirk.
Yes.
And would you say when you first met Tyler?
I think it was 2023. I've known him longer than that, though. That was, I think, the first time I met him in person.
Okay.
And will you describe your relationship with Tyler when you first met him anyway?
When I first met him, I didn't know him super well. He was just a new roommate, so.
Yo, that's crazy. He does sound like Buffalo Bill. Oh my God. He looks like a Columbine unaliver. He sounds like Buffalo Bill. I'm sure he had nothing to do with it.
I knew he knew my friend group, and I knew he liked playing games, but that's about it when we first, when he first moved in.
Okay. Before we go on, I realized my mic was muted at the outset. Was yours on, your microphone?
No,
Okay. I'm going to repeat those admonitions.
It puts the letter under the keyboard. It puts the messages in the Discord chat. It puts Tyler Robinson under the bus.
Just to make sure.
Yo, just playing. Just playing. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. He's innocent until proven guilty, just like Tyler Robinson. Just ask Megyn Kelly.
We've got recorded. Okay, so again, I place you under oath. Just to make a record, I'm going to do it again. You do solemnly swear that the evidence you shall give in this issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
And again, I'm going to give you the false statement admonition.
Sorry, hold on. They're saying that it's echoing, so
I think this one's mic is on.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, you're not on my mic, but that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so we should be good. All right. Is that mic on?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Sorry.
All right. Okay, sorry about that interruption. All right, so you said when you first met, you were roommates?
Yeah.
Okay. And then at some point, your relationship progressed to something more than just roommates, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
When was that?
I think we started dating 2 or 3 months after he moved in.
Okay. And where did you live at that time?
St. George, in an apartment complex.
And is that apartment the same place you lived when on September 10th?
Yes.
When you lived there with Tyler, were you in the same room? Did you live in the same room or different rooms?
Separate rooms.
Wait. Yeah, you had separate rooms. I thought you guys were in love. I thought you were lovers. I thought you were in love. You had your own rooms? You slept in your own beds? He had his own safe? I'm so confused. I don't know. Maybe it's just the voice.
And at that time, let's say September of 2025, what were you doing with your life? Were you working, school?
I was working. I was doing like bathtub and shower repair and stuff in new construction.
Oh, good. When you said you were working, I was going to say, where were you working? The FBI?
Okay. How about Tyler?
I think he was both working. I think he was working for an electrician company then, and he was also in a trade school for being I don't know, higher ranking electrician. I'm not sure how the trade system works for that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think he was both.
What was his typical work day like?
I think he'd leave around 7 generally and get back around 3 to 4, depending on where the job was and how long it was for the day. And then on certain days of the week during school, semesters, he would then later in the day, I think around 5 or 6, go to school. Okay. So yeah.
Okay. Let's jump to September 10th. Did he spend the night in the apartment the night of September 9th into September 10th?
Into September 10th. Yeah, he did. Yes.
Do you know when he left the apartment on September 10th?
I don't know an exact time. I just know he left early.
Wait. So you were his lover, you lived together, you were with him the morning that he committed this assassination, yet you didn't get hauled in, you didn't get arrested, you didn't get interrogated. You got brought in for a pre-recorded statement. Actually, wait, no, hold on. I left out an important detail. Hold on, we'll get right back to this. I almost forgot. He initially recorded a statement like this in September. But then in April, for some reason, they had him come back and redo it. I don't know. I found that very odd. Is this the one from September? Or is this the one that he redid in April? And why would he have to redo it? And was it before or after his family got all that money and opened those LLCs? You know, we're going to have to look into this.
I heard him leaving, and he just said he had a long drive to work that day, so he was leaving early.
Okay, so early. Any guess as to what when that was?
I don't know. I would have thought it was 5 a.m. because that's when like an early work day was for him, but it was probably more like 4.
All right, now keep in mind, he's saying that he left for work at 5 a.m. So what time did he wake up? 4? He woke up at 4 a.m.? 4:30? No, hour, I don't know. Maybe 4:30, maybe 4:45. He's typed to roll out of bed and just go to work. On a day like that, with all that planned, you know, you would think that if he's up at 5 a.m., there's probably a good chance that he was up all night. Right? Is that possible? Is that possible? If I don't know. Let's keep going. But either way, he was up very, very early in the morning. So I'm sure he probably would have been very, very tired and went to sleep early. Right? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not.
Okay.
I'm gonna have him spare this gum just to make sure that
I can do that.
you mind hit it right in front of your laptop.
Here you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
He's chewing gum. Incredible.
All right. So what time did you get up on September 10th?
Guys, we now have 500 people watching on YouTube. Thank you very much. If you could all do me a favor and hit that like, share the video, share it on X, Facebook, wherever. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel.
Probably like 12 to 1 p.m.
You didn't have to work that day?
No.
And
oh, no. Oh, okay. So Tyler woke up at 4 in the morning, and Lance Twiggs slept till noon, 1 p.m. So how did he know what time Tyler Robinson woke up and left if he's sleeping all day? All right. I'll believe it. Why not?
did you hear from Tyler? Did he call or text you before then?
No, he sent that message in the group chat I mentioned, but he didn't message me directly at all that day.
Okay.
He didn't message him directly at all that day. Now, a group chat, who else is in the group chat? The other 3 or 4 guys that were in the car that was driving around UVU at the scene of the crime that night? Was any of them in the group chat? Did Cash Patel even ask, or anybody even ask? I don't know.
When did you first hear from him on September 10th?
It was at 11 o'clock with that automated message.
All right, so he heard an automated message at 11 p.m. How does he know that it was automated? I wonder if he says.
Okay, 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going dark. They're not going to show us. It's all right. We'll find out.
What about this? He asks you here, remember how I was engraving bullets? Was he engraving bullets before this?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Really? Really? Tyler messages him saying, hey, remember how I was engraving those bullets? All right.
Exactly when, but he had said he was planning to go hunting with his family. And he asked me for if we had a Dremel because he said he wanted to engrave messages on bullets. And I just told him where Dremel was and told him to make sure he doesn't like set off a bullet on accident in the house.
Wait. So you knew where the thing was and not Tyler? Why? Were you engraving any bullets? Did they think about that when they were questioning him? Why Tyler wouldn't know where the device that engraves the bullets is, and that Lance did? That didn't like set off any red flags? That maybe the guy who actually knew where the device to engrave the bullets, the gay furry trans guy, you know, Charlie did get shot right after you like talking about like transgenders and gun violence, right? All right.
But I didn't really think about it until then.
How long before September 10th was this that he asked about the Dremel?
I don't remember, because he'd been talking about the hunting/camping trip for a couple months. But I don't remember when he was specifically asking to engrave the bullets.
Wait. Hold on. So you're telling me that Tyler Robinson was planning a hunting trip and he was talking about it for a couple of months, and that he engraved all of these bullets, including one that he wrote test shot that he never actually tested. And then he just woke up one day and said, you know what, screw that. Screw this hunting trip I've been talking about for months. Where's my Dremel, Lance, you gay furry? I got to find it. I want to engrave one more bullet, cancel the hunting trip, and go pop Charlie Kirk. That's your story, Lance? Am I the only one who's like thinking like this, that like got that kind of like pattern recognition, that like, you know what I mean? The leftist gay furry that we've been hearing about for months is the one that knew where the Dremel was. Tyler Robinson was engraving all these bullets for a hunting trip that he was planning for months, talking about for months. Why, if he wasn't planning on going? Like, is it me? No, does this make sense to fucking anybody? Yo, shout out to Valhalla VFT in the chat. Thank you very much. Big super. He says, believe all trans furries. Except Brandon Tatum. I'm kidding.
So are we talking like a year before?
Oh no, not that long. It would have been, I'd say at most a month before this was when he was asking.
Okay.
Don't worry, Nate. We're going to play some of your stuff later.
Okay. Right. You talked about the note that he left. I want to bring this up, and I should say that these text messages that we've been looking at here are.
Wait. Hold on. I just realized something else. So Tyler Robinson allegedly left at 5 a.m. Lance Twiggs woke up between noon and 1 p.m. He got an automated message. We still don't know how Lance knew that the message was automated, that told him to check under the keyboard. So you're going to tell me that Lance Twiggs was up in that apartment for 9 hours and didn't know that note was under the keyboard? I mean, mind you, it's not their room. Even though they're lovers, even though they're gay lovers, they have their own rooms. They sleep in their own beds. But you're going to tell me 9 hours, you didn't have a reason to go in there once? You waited till you got the automated message? It puts the letter under the keyboard.
Bates number 54. Okay, the notes have been titled 16.3 with a note. And this is Bates number 58. Do you recognize that on the screen there?
Yeah.
What do you recognize it as?
That was the note under his keyboard that he was referring to in the first text of that chain.
Okay, so where did you find this?
On his desk underneath his computer keyboard.
And I assume you read it.
Yeah.
And then what did you do with it after you read it?
I believe I just put it back down on the desk after I took a picture of it.
Okay. And again, the time you read it.
Okay, so wait, why would you take a picture of it? Why would you take a picture of it? So you wake up, you're there for 9 hours, you don't see the note, you get an automated message, you check, you read the note, and you just take a picture of it. That's normal.
It was probably around 11 o'clock or so on the 10th.
Yes.
The night of September 10th.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And did you ever see that again after you placed it back on his desk?
No, I don't think I did.
And that was a desk in his bedroom?
Yes.
And that's a separate bedroom than your bedroom?
Yeah.
And now I want to go to what's been titled 16.2. And do you recognize this series of messages here?
Yeah, that was the server, like his friend that I was mentioning.
Okay, and this is your phone again?
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you recognize it because the big crack up at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is a server. Is this Discord?
Wait, hold on. He says that it's his friend that he was mentioning, but the only time he mentioned other people when he was talking about a group chat. If it wasn't his friend, wasn't he in the group chat with them? Lance, are you sure you weren't in that car that night?
Yeah, this is Discord.
And who are members of this server? I don't want names, just generally. Who are these people?
This is his friend group. They played D&D together every week.
Okay. And I just want to scroll through this to make sure that you get a chance to take a look at it. Or go to the next page.
Mm-hmm. Or yes.
So Tyler Icom, who's that?
That's Tyler Robinson.
And these other people are just others that are members of the server.
Yes.
Jug, Barnaby, Marina, DM.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, DM means Dungeon Master. So this is these are like most of them are names they're using in the game.
All right, so Tyler Robinson is hanging out with a bunch of D&D people. I don't know if any of you guys have ever played D&D. Here's a little something about myself. I actually used to play a lot of Magic the Gathering. I played mostly online, but I would go and play in person sometimes. And I could assure you, these are the most harmless people you will ever meet in your entire life. They're not hateful. They're not violent. And they sure as hell aren't the type that are like going to coordinate something like what they're claiming Tyler Robinson did. I don't think that Tyler Robinson fits the profile. I'm not too sure about Lance Twiggs.
Game they're playing currently.
Got it. Yeah, it looks like the last text from Tyler looks like it's 8 p.m. And do you know what day this would have been? 8 p.m. on the 10th or the 11th?
I would think that would be the 11th. Because at least I think so, because I don't think on the 10th that he messaged anyone before me at like 11. So.
And he turned himself in on the 11th, right?
I thought so, yeah.
Okay. So again, we're just going to go through this so that we have a
Why did he whatever, never mind.
record of the messages.
Damn, I can't wait to set up that AC. See how much I love you guys? I could have set up the AC and been nice and comfortable. I've been sweating my balls off in here all week. But I wanted to start on time. It was very important to me. I just hope you guys appreciate
it. Is that an accurate recording of that thread?
To my knowledge, yes.
And that was sent, looks like between September 10th and September 12th. Looks like the last day on this is September 12th.
Wait. I thought that he turned himself in on September 11th. Now you're saying that there was text messages that we're not allowed to see that happened on September 12th? Does Barron know this? Barron, are you watching? Did you catch that part?
Screen.
Yes.
So Lance confirms it. Lance is looking at the screen, confirming that there was a text message sent on September 12th. Okay.
Okay.
Damn, this is boring. There we go. Now we're back.
All right. So again, those messages covered from September 10th to the evening of September 11th. Now,
Now it's September 11th. You caught yourself there. But the question is, when you had Lance confirm it on the screen, why didn't he correct it? Is it because he's just going along with the script? What's going on? What's going on?
11th, what time did you see Tyler on September 11th?
Yes.
When did you first see him on September 11th? So this is the day after the shooting.
Yeah, I saw him when I woke up. Like I said, he was up and around doing a lot of stuff around the house. And then I think I saw him after that message where I said I'll come home and say I'm doing laundry, because I didn't want him going to my parents' house right then when he said there was probably cops outside. So I went back home.
Wait, you were
and it
talking
was
about
just him there, and I said bye to him, and then he drove off. So I just went back to my parents' house.
Guy just off Charlie Kirk. You talk about laundry and just say goodbye. Okay, that's believable. I know I need a cough button. All right. That's enough of that. Oh wait, no. Is there more? Oh, never mind. We almost missed the most important part. Sorry, this is just taking so long.
So he acted erratically.
I'm coughing, by the way.
Was he pacing? Was he just sitting down, relaxing?
No, he was walking around a lot.
Right, and that's within the home.
Mm-hmm.
And did he talk about what he had done?
Didn't go into detail. I just asked him in person if what he said was true the night before, and he said it was. I started crying a little bit and said he wishes he hadn't done it, and then kept.
Well, you're not crying now, are you, Lance?
Going around and just doing stuff, I think, to keep himself busy or distracted or something.
Okay. Did he talk about what he was going to do next?
Oh, we're not allowed to hear this part. Damn it.
And then eventually said that he would talk to his parents or turn himself over.
Okay. And when you left, was that how you left, understanding that he was going to turn himself in or go to his parents' house?
Yeah, and I didn't really want to be at our apartment while any of that was happening, regardless of what went down.
Okay. Okay, before he came home, had you seen the press releases, any of the media on this?
I'd seen one Instagram link a friend of mine had sent in our group chat.
Okay, now I gotta call bullshit. Because we all remember when Charlie got assassinated. Anybody that was on social media knows. Doesn't matter whether you were on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, wherever. All you saw in the algorithm was either Charlie getting offed, security doing the Macarena, the left dancing around celebrating, and the right weeping and crying. It was one of those four things. You did not see anything else. There was no pet videos. There was no music videos. There was no people selling shit. I don't know about you guys, but my algorithm, it was Charlie, lefty dancing, right crying, Charlie, security, Charlie, left celebrating, right crying. That was all I saw. You're going to tell me that you went on Instagram and you didn't even see it on your algorithm? Somebody had to send you a link? I'm sorry, Mr. Twigs. I do not believe you.
But I hadn't really looked into it at all.
And had you seen the images that were released of the suspect?
He didn't look into it at all.
I did the next day. I don't think I saw any on the 10th.
I'm going to show you a couple of those images. Okay, I'm on the FBI's website. You can see the URL there at the top. This is some press release about this event. And here on the screen, you see these, looks like there's 2 rows of 3 images.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recognize the person in these images?
I wouldn't say it with 100% certainty just because of camera quality, but that.
So they ask him if he recognizes his gay lover. And the first thing he says, I wouldn't say with 100% certainty.
It looks like him in terms of the shoes he's wearing, the sunglasses. I don't think I'd specifically seen him wearing that hat.
All right, so you've never seen the hat before, but you recognize shoes and sunglasses.
But he was usually wearing a hat. And then.
Oh, he was usually wearing a hat, but never that hat? This is so convincing.
Jeans, so.
Oh, jeans. Oh, Tyler wears jeans. Is that your positive ID? Is that your positive ID? A hat you never seen before in jeans?
It definitely, especially the bottom, the last 2, definitely do look like him.
Hold on. These last 2?
Oh, they do look like Tyler Robinson.
And you talked about that with your friends, right? This is like him.
Yeah, his friends. Yeah, I don't know if I don't remember if I talked about it with any of my friends. And then since I didn't have my phone after that for a while, and I still am not using social media, I don't know on my friends' end.
Okay. All right, I want to back up a little bit now. We've talked about September 10th, but let me get a little bit of context here. So, did you game with Tyler?
Yeah.
What kind of games?
We played some just kind of party games together, like.
Did you game with Tyler, your boyfriend that you live with, that sleeps in the other room, that games all the time? He's got all these friends. They all play like D&D and crap, right? Isn't that how he said he met him? Through like online gaming? If I'm not mistaken, maybe I'm mistaken. And then, oh, did you play games with him? Yeah. What games? Party games. Yo, no gamer says party games. Like, off top, yeah, it's real simple. Fortnite, Call of Duty, Fall Guys. You know what I mean? Like, there's a whole bunch. Diablo, Magic guys, you would think they're playing Diablo. I mean, Diablo 4 just came out a couple years ago. You would think, think about it. Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Around the time they met, everybody I know that was playing Magic was either playing League of Legends or Diablo. Diablo 4. Doesn't even name them. He says party games. Again, I told you, I used to play Magic myself. I have some general idea of what these people play. I mean, I can't relate to, somebody that would kill a person, but I can relate to somebody that plays games and plays Magic. And it's usually pretty simple. Like gamers, they've got like a top 5, usually a top 3. Some gamers only play 1 or 2 games. And they never say party games. And believe me, whether their partner plays or not, they always know exactly what game their partner plays because they're usually frustrated that their partner's playing the game instead of screwing them. So this whole testimony sounds like horse shit. Horse shit.
Stuff, anything that would be multiplayer with a group of friends. There was one game he really liked.
Multiplayer with a group of friends. You said that he plays Dungeons and Dragons with his friends, that they're not your friends. Now you're saying that you were playing games with his friends, but you can't identify a single fucking game.
It's called Sea of Thieves, where you play as like a pirate, and you can fight against people, but most of it's just like,
all right, he knows the game. See if
fishing, fighting sharks, skeletons, kind of stuff. We played some co-op games where it's like you both have to work together to win in whatever way.
Co-op is too.
Way back when I was just out of high school, when I first knew him online, we played some like shooting games together, but I didn't know him very well, so that was just when we had like a full friend group on to play, and he was someone that my friends invited. Okay.
You would think he would say, yo, that right there, another red flag, Okay, so you are interviewing the roommate of somebody that allegedly just assassinated a friend of the president. You're not arresting him. You're not interrogating him. You're bringing him in for a pre-recorded statement. This might have been the second statement, not even the first one. Now he's telling you that he played shooting games with the person you think assassinated this person. And you're not going to ask him what shooting game? You're not going to like dig into that one a little bit? Oh, you played shooting games. Fits, finally, something that fits the profile. Let's get some more information. And you say, okay, move it along. Guys, has anybody else brought up these points yet? I'm just asking. I mean, there's so much going on. There's so much to this interview that people pointed out. And this is what's so great about having so many people do this investigation. You're going to have some people that are going to identify some bullshit. You're going to have other people that identify other bullshit. And me, because I play games, I play Magic, I'm identifying this bullshit. And once you start to put it all together, you get guys like Ian, Candace, Baron, Nate, Trigger Smart, Danks. All of a sudden, you get the full picture. And at some point, you're going to realize it's all bullshit. Let's see if we can find some more bullshit.
Did you and he ever talk about politics?
He did more than me.
Oh, now we're getting into spicy shit. Now we're getting into motive. Now we're talking politics. Remember, they said that the whole reason Tyler Robinson did this was because he hated Charlie Kirk. Hold on. Let me get my face a little bigger for this part in case I clip this later. Hold on. All right. Take two. All right. Now we're getting into politics. Now we're getting into what they've been saying has been the motive for Tyler Robinson unaliving Charlie Kirk for the past 10 months. Politics. Right? Saying, oh, I didn't really care about politics, even though I'm the gay transferee. I don't care about politics. I don't care about left, right, whatever. You know, it doesn't make any difference to me. Tyler talked about it a little bit. Let's keep going.
I still don't really keep up with politics very much.
Okay, you don't keep up with politics. You don't really play games. What the hell were you doing with Tyler Robinson? What did you have in common? What did you have in common with Tyler Robinson? Why were you together? Why have they been telling us for 10 months that you are a leftist gay transferee and you have a deep, deep voice? You're not feminine in any way, and you seem to have absolutely nothing in common with the guy. And you sleep in different rooms. What did you have in common? Why were you dating this person? How come this guy is not asking you any of these questions?
He'd usually talk about stuff he heard on the radio on his drive to work in like their work car, since it sounds like their whole crew went in the same car most of the time.
Okay, so if the whole crew went in the same car, how do you know Tyler was even picking the radio? If the whole crew was in the car, was he driving? Did he pick the radio? Or was he just in the car while someone else who was in control of the radio was playing the politics. I mean, who listens to politics in the radio? I follow politics. I'm on X. I'm on YouTube 24/7. 24/7. I don't just put it on while I'm in the car with my work crew and listen to it on the radio.
Time, but I wouldn't say super consistently because it wasn't a topic I really contributed much on.
So if you didn't really care and you didn't really follow politics, and he only listened to it in the radio with his work crew, then why would he cancel his hunting trip that he was planning for months to just wake up one day and say, hey, Lance, you know where the Dremel is? I want to engrave one more bullet and go take out Charlie Kirk. Because from the sound of your own testimony, the only real witness in this entire, like holding this whole case together, it doesn't really sound like either of you gave a fuck. It doesn't sound like either of you were that interested in politics at all, let alone Charlie Kirk.
What about Charlie Kirk? Did you ever talk about Charlie Kirk?
I personally had never heard him talk about Charlie Kirk before.
The fuck are you talking about? You personally, never heard him talk about Charlie Kirk. Is the lawyer going to say, hey, then why did he want to off him? Why did he want to unalive him? Did you talk about Charlie Kirk? Oh, no, that's right. You already said you don't care about politics. So what the fuck are we talking about?
Or specifically.
Okay. How about political issues? So did you ever talk about gender identity issues and LGBTQ rights?
Oh, there's the big one. All right, they didn't talk about Charlie, but this is the main motive. This is it. This is it. We're all in right now. We are all in right now because this is the reason that they're saying that Tyler Robinson unalived Charlie Kirk. For this reason, for this cause, for this person.
No, not really.
No, not really. Yo, come on. Yo, it's not even funny anymore. It's not even funny anymore. And Erica Kirk is sitting there saying that she's seen the evidence. She forgives him, but she wants to expedite this case so he could get put to death. And that's why yesterday on X, I said that after everything I've seen this week, that I think Erica Kirk is a garbage of a human being and that I think she's going to burn in hell. Not that I want her to burn in hell. Not that I wish any ill will on her. In fact, I also messaged in that X post that I really hope that she stops grifting off of Jesus and her dead husband and that she finds Jesus so that she doesn't burn in hell, which I'm pretty fucking sure she's going to.
Usually if he did talk about politics stuff, it was relating to Trump or current policies being issued or voted on, I think. But yeah.
Now, I'm no lawyer, but Judge Graff, if you're listening right now, I rest my case, Your Honor. No, just kidding. We are just getting started. I got a shit ton of clips. Yo, that was like the first clip that we played. Hold on. And now I'm like getting some energy right now. I thought this was going to be like a short night and I was going to be dragging my ass, but I am just getting started. Let's see. Where should we go? Let's go with the ATF. The ATF Firearms Examiner.
And subclass characteristics are more restricted than class, but less than individual. And they are design features that can be put on an object during the manufacturing process, which is consistent among items that are made by a tool that's in a specific state of wear. So what I mean by that is it's going to be a subset of a larger group, which is why it's not used for for identification or comparison purposes for the basis of a conclusion. But when you think of something that's made through a mold process, when that mold comes together, it creates a seam line, and that seam line is going to be represented on all the items that it makes. So that's why you can't use it for the identification process, because it's going to be on a lot of items, which is why it's a subset of the group. Then I move on and looking at the individual characteristics. And these are imperfections and irregularities that arise from the manufacturing process. And
Guys, if you want me to just give you the spoiler alert, put a 1 in the chat. If you really want to keep listening to this, put a 2. I'll be happy to sit here and play it. But I have a lot of other clips. This is going to be a long stream either night. We don't have to sit through every little piece of testimony. In fact, I'm pretty sure that I could find a clip from this lady's a snake. All right, guys. So let me give you the gist of it. So long story short, the woman basically says that the fragment that she pulled could have been matched to a variety of different weapons, like over a dozen. There was a funny moment yesterday too, that the prosecution started asking questions and realized that it was working against him, so he stopped. I enjoyed that. Hold on, let's see. Nope, not that one. Where are we at?
And subclass characteristics are more restricted.
No, we don't want to listen to this one. No, we already got that one. We got that one. Oh, you know what? Let's just pull this up. So what is this? So just to be clear, Tyler told his dad, Matt, that he did not wait, Matt. Oh, no way. Tyler's dad's name is Matt? Hold on. I didn't even freaking know this. I'm pretty sure that there is a Matt Robinson that was the former sheriff. You know, I'm not even going to... Guys, someone in the chat fact check this. Look this up, because I'm pretty sure that there is a Matt Robinson in that area that was a former sheriff. Was the former sheriff a family friend, or was it his own dad? Is that why Tyler's still alive? Yo. Oh, look at this. And shout out to Diligent Innocent. Family of Tyler Robinson confirms Tyler did not confess to his parents to offing Charlie Kirk. He told them that he did not kill Charlie. Tyler's parents do not believe Tyler offed Charlie. Tyler's parents called their bishop out of fear of his safety. No mention of a family friend that was an ex-cop. So maybe Tyler Robinson's father really was the former police officer. And look, it's right here. Does Tyler's parents think that he offed Charlie? No. Did the parents call the bishop because they thought Tyler was guilty out of fear for his safety? Or out of fear for his safety? Sorry. Did they call the bishop because they thought he was guilty or out of fear for his safety? Safety. Guys, the plot is getting thicker as we speak. Oh, here's this one. Let's not forget this. Let's go back to the car. Let's go back to the car that they said was at UVU. Look at this. Notice this. You see this? This is Tyler Robinson's actual vehicle on the right. The front bumper indents. It goes in at the bottom. And it has 2 spoilers. 2 spoilers. The car that they said was Tyler Robinson, the same Tyler Robinson that met with the people from TPUSA that Blake Neff refuses to answer about, refuses to tell anybody about who Tyler Robinson spoke to and what they spoke about. That Tyler Robinson, you know, the one with the blurry face that we can't identify, he pulled in with a car with 4 spoilers and an extension on the front bumper and a sticker on the windshield. They didn't even catch that. Oh, let me point to it. And a sticker on the windshield. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Bumper that looks like this. Bumper that looks like that. Sticker on the windshield. No sticker on the windshield. So not only can they not even get a definitive ID from any picture, any footage, or even their star witness that totally contradicts the motive anyway, but they're presenting evidence with the wrong car and a person in that car that was meeting up with Turning Point USA that Blake Neff refuses to talk about when he pops up on these X Spaces. And you know, Myron Gaines, if you were listening so good and so diligently for that whole time, and you wanted everybody else's theories, you didn't catch that. You didn't want to ask that question. You didn't have a theory for yourself. What the fuck were you doing there? I don't know. Just saying. But you know what? Let's get into some other stuff. Shout out to Ian Carroll. And shout out to Trigger Smart, Nate, and Danks. This is from us the other day, where they talk about the bullets. Because, the whole thing that they've been telling us is that this was like either an old bullet or a busted bullet or maybe a homemade bullet, and that's the reason why it probably didn't leave an exit wound, right? That's what we've been hearing the whole time, is that we don't know if these were standard bullets. Erica Kirk didn't know if these were standard bullets. The FBI didn't know if these were standard bullets. But they were so sure about all this. They was so sure about the car, so sure about Lance Twiggs' testimony, so sure about everything. And they said, wait till the evidence. So sure that a 30-06 wouldn't leave an exit when hit in the soft neck of Charlie Kirk. Well, let's hear about the bullets.
All right, guys. So conveniently, I just happen to have the exact 30-06 Springfield. They're actually 150 grain rounds at my house. Look at that. There they are. Now, looking back at this picture, I actually do think one of these rounds is a soft point round, and it looks like the other ones are FMJ rounds from what I'm looking at. But just so you guys understand, there's no difference here. And actually, if they're soft point rounds, this becomes even worse, because soft point rounds are specifically designed for killing elk and moose. Right? You guys want me to actually read you the description straight from the box of what these rounds are supposed to do? Here you go. They are designed for deep penetration and in controlled expansion up to twice the diameter, the expansion of the round, which means his head would have been blown off, than a typical round, right? Not only that, the height weight retention won't break up or separate for more effective stopping power. So these rounds are designed to not break up. We also know that Charlie had 5 or 6 fragments because the bullet broke up. And they are also designed to go through a moose, the soft points. Now, FMJs are typically not what you're going to hunt with. You can, but they're still designed. So these are designed to penetrate as far as possible and expand as big as possible to blow the biggest hole possible to make the most damage possible, because you're trying to get through elk, moose, giant animals, right? Also, the way you can tell, and I'm not actually going to show the whole thing because who knows, but you can see the tips of these, right? The difference is, I don't know if you guys can see, one's round and it's got, see how the top is all brass and then the top of that one is lead. The soft points have lead tops. And they're actually designed to, again, expand and create massive damage as they blow through. So Yeah, the weapon and the rounds that Tyler used are specifically designed to kill moose and elk. So there we go. We know it's not some accelerator round. It's not some frangible round. It is basically the most powerful. So not the grain weight could be a little bit higher, but again, these are standard. This is what you're going to buy at Bass Pro Shop to go on a live big game with. So there you go, guys. Don't know how we're going to, even my buddies who are privy to, like, there is a possibility that it's low grain or like shitty ammunition, bad loads, reloads. It's not grandpa's old ammunition. It's not grandpa's reloaded ammunition. Those are brand new rounds straight out the box from Walmart. So
thank you, Nate. That was
if
very
you want to believe
educational.
that a 30-06 with 150 to 170 grain soft point rounds did not go through a human being's neck from 139 yards, God bless you. But it's not a thing. I bet you the firearms experts who know.
Now, like I was saying to Gary the other day, I was still open to the idea that Tyler Robinson did this and that it could have been done with a 30-06. Everyone else was saying 0 probability. I wasn't. I was saying if they were frangible rounds and if the gun didn't fire properly and the bullet was yawing, that maybe, just maybe, it would not have left an exit wound. I said under those conditions, if the stars aligned, maybe a 15% probability. And he even said, yeah, maybe 25. But even under those conditions, it was still a slim shot. It was still a slim chance. But now that we know that they were standard rounds, come on. And not only that, but here's another point that I don't think anybody else has made yet. If those bullets are designed to just not go through and do maximum damage and fragment everywhere, we've all seen the footage of Charlie getting carried to the car. Even if Brian Harpole stuffed all those gauze into Charlie's neck to keep him from bleeding, keep the blood from leaking out, and cleaned his hands real quick in the 17, 19 seconds, whatever it was, before he carried Charlie to the SUV, when they just threw him in there. I want you guys to think about something. A bullet that powerful, a standard round that did that much damage, that was not bleeding out, that did all this damage in his neck, the blood would have been coming out of his mouth. The blood would have been coming out of his nose. He would have had a lot of bleeding going on. It would have had to have gone somewhere. The damage would have been in his throat. He was slumped down. His head was like this. They're carrying him out. Not a single drop of blood came out of his mouth. You expect me to believe that? No. 0 shot. 0 shot. I don't buy it. Now, knowing what we know, there's no way. Oh, this is a good clip. Let's play a little Ian Carroll real quick. Shout out to him again. I'm just gonna keep shouting everybody out every time I play their stuff. Ian did a great
screwdriver with the DNA was recovered, and it didn't get turned back on for the whole day. So here's this part.
Body cam footage that I reviewed appears to end while you're still on the roof. Do you know why that is?
I think the battery went dead. It was just right at that moment.
Okay. And
wait, hold on. Let me get this straight. So the officer that roped off the crime scene where Tyler Robinson allegedly took this shot, who said he was only a couple hours into his shift, his body camera just turned off. Hey guys, remember those 911 tapes or dispatch tapes that Barron put out where they were saying that they saw like where Tyler was allegedly lying down or where the suspect was lying down where he took the shot, and he didn't mention the screwdriver. Remember that? He's like giving all these details and he never mentions the screwdriver. I wonder if that magic screwdriver had anything to do with this officer's body camera just turning off. The first officer that was on the roof. The officer who had no idea about the .223 round that was found on the other roof.
Do you know, did you ever turn it back on that day or go get it, I don't know, what do you have to do, charge it or stick a new battery in it? I don't even know.
Usually dock it, but no, I didn't go back. It was too chaotic.
So you went the whole day without your body cam. And you couldn't even figure out throughout the entirety of your shift whether the battery died or it just happened to turn off on its own while you're roping off the scene. That's not suspicious.
So that's convenient. Baron Coleman did a good breakdown of this last night in his live stream. And apparently body cameras obviously are designed to last for many, many, many hours, like over 10. So no real explanation given in this trial so far, this hearing so far, about why the body camera didn't have any battery, why his body cam died specifically. That's concerning. That's not good. In this clip, the officer describes the series of events from him first witnessing the shot to then going down to the tent, scene of the crime, then traveling up to the Losi Center building. And in the middle of it all, he finds a holster, an empty holster for a handgun. And it's a little weird. This holster for the handgun is sort of a open question in the middle of this whole story now that is getting a little confusing.
Mr. Kirk was answering questions, talking to individuals.
Yes.
Were there others present?
Yes.
Any idea about approximately how many? How would you describe it in your terms?
In my terms, I'd say when I was up there looking down, I'd say there's several thousand people.
Do you see the reaction from the crowd?
Yes.
What was that?
Everybody kind of got up. They all said, a lot of people were screaming, standing up and starting to run in all different directions away from the center of the tent.
Okay. You're a police officer helping to secure the area, correct?
Yes.
What did you do?
At that moment, I recognized it as gunfire. I left my post, which was right there on the south end of the Hall of Flags. I proceeded to between right where the Fugle and the Hall of Flags meet. There's some outside stairs that I was starting to run down. As I was trying to get down to the bottom of the stairs, people are running up. People are laying down on the steps. I'm trying to jump over people to get to the bottom of the stairs so I can.
I just want to remind you guys that when Charlie got hit and Charlie went down, there was only one person on the scene that drew their weapon that was near Charlie, and that was an officer in uniform. That was not this guy. None of his security drew their weapon. None of them were looking around to see if there was an active shooter. None of them were like really too concerned about an active shooter. They seemed to be concerned about something going on under the table, but they weren't concerned about danger. They've been on the record that within 20 seconds, they just picked up Charlie, and I'm just saying.
Help stop an individual that's probably shooting. Because we had an individual in custody. Another officer came on and said we had an individual in custody. So I decided to, since the threat is gone, now I can assess for anybody that's injured and start looking for any medical needs that's needed at that.
So if you remember, George Zinn, decoy boy, famously gets himself arrested, drops his drawers, makes a huge scene, very weird and somewhat suspicious, extremely suspicious. He later had CP on his phone, and so he's locked away, can't talk to him. Candace pointed out that she had a source at the hospital that he went to where allegedly, according to the hospital staff, he told them that he was paid to do it, didn't know where the money was coming from. I can't corroborate that. I don't know if that's true or not.
And you know what? The defense can't corroborate that either, because that's another person that for some reason didn't have to testify at the preliminary hearing. the first person to say that he did it, that said he got paid, did not have to testify at the preliminary hearing.
But that's where this officer is saying that they had someone in custody. So he assumed that the threat was over. So he looked around for medical emergencies. He finds someone having a seizure. It's no big
in the
deal.
area, having a seizure that he was finding was not injured. So then at that moment, I observed that there was no other injuries that I could see at that moment.
Okay.
Effect of, I decided now we need to contain the scene and help preserve as much evidence as we can. So I started pushing people off the grass.
But not Terrell Farnsworth, who came directly into the tent and took the fucking memory cards out of the cameras. But obviously, whatever. There was not.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I totally forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me, Ian. So Terrell Farnsworth, the guy who right away took the cameras down, took out the SD cards, then ran around back and made the video saying that they offed Charlie, not he, they, even though nobody was afraid of an active shooter. He was assuming that it was a they, that it was not a he or a she. It was a they. But Terrell Farnsworth, they said that he pulled the camera down and took the SD cards because they wanted to get it to law enforcement because people do bad things. Remember that? Not only did he not hand in the cameras, not only did he not hand in the SD cards, he sent law enforcement an edited video and they accepted it. Why didn't law enforcement want those cameras? Why didn't they want to take the cameras and the SD cards into evidence? Why did they accept an edited video? And he said he sent it to him with Google Drive, even though he was telling Candace that he didn't know how to use Google Drive when he ended up sending her an edited video. And if you remember correctly, you know, Candace was saying that Terrell Farnsworth was saying that he was like, he was afraid for his life and that he didn't want to just send it to her and that he should like talk to TPUSA first or a lawyer. Remember that? I've covered this video in the past. I'm not going to play it now. I didn't have it ready. But, and then Candace said, no, you don't have to do that. You can trust me. I got your back. I'll help you. And that she like talked him into sending that edited video. Was Terrell Farnsworth acting? Was he acting? Was he like playing Candace? Pretending to Candace that he was like afraid for his life? And oh, maybe I should talk to a lawyer. Maybe I should talk to Erica. So that he could like make, you know, earn Candace's trust so that when he sent her the video that she thought that that was it, there was nothing else to see. Because if he did, that's part of a cover-up. That's 100% part of a cover-up. If he was lying to Candace about, you know, his fears and I should talk to this one, I should talk to that one, and then sends her an edited video, and then he sends law enforcement an edited video, and what, to this day, we're going to go to trial and they're not going to have the actual camera. They're not going to have the actual SD cards. You're going to put Tyler Robinson on trial facing the death penalty when you're not even going to bring you're not even going to submit the actual evidence to see what exactly happened to Charlie when he went down. We're going to have to go with all this footage that you got to like zoom in and it's grainy and it's this and it's that. And you can't even really like his own lover can't even definitively ID him himself. Like, is that really how this works? Is that how the justice system in America works? Because if it is, we're all in trouble. Especially if you play Magic or D&D. You're like, they're already profiling these motherfuckers. This is like really screwed up. Really screwed up. Oh, and then there's this one too. Yo, I told you, like I could do this all day. Look, we got a whole other list of links. Let's just start with the top one.
Did not know about is that apparently there was a...
Oh, never mind. This is the same list of links. Same list of links. Hold on. Wait, is there something else good there that there's definitely something else good there. Hold on. Let's see. Oh yeah, apparently Tyler Robinson went
Then
to Chick-fil-A too.
So it's interesting, right, that he apparently went to the Sorensen building and purchased and ate some food. So there's all these other places where we
Wait. Hold on. So he went to Chick-fil-A, then Dairy Queen, then he got a steak. But he went to Chick-fil-A. Like, isn't Chick-fil-A like really conservative? Right? Isn't it like really conservative and like anti-gay and trans to some extent? Forgive me if I'm wrong. I don't want to get sued by Chick-fil-A. But if that was Tyler's motivation, even though Lance Twiggs is saying that he never really talked politics, he just listened in the car with the radio with some work friends, and he never talked about Charlie Kirk, he didn't talk about gay rights, and he ate at Chick-fil-A. Yo, guys.
We would get different camera angles that might show his face better. Like maybe when he's eating food, maybe when he's ordering food, I bet there's security footage right above the cash register of the.
Well, there has to be. Right? There's cameras at Chick-fil-A. Oh, I'm going to go big here. There has to be. There's cameras at Chick-fil-A. There was cameras at Dairy Queen. You know, the other place that the actual Tyler Robinson went to, where Candace Owens got the only picture of Tyler Robinson that could definitively ID him that day. You're going to tell me that at Chick-fil-A, they're much more successful than DQ. They didn't have cameras?
The fucking customers. We don't see any of that footage. I'm curious what all that footage would show, but they just gloss right over it and only show us the footage from his entrance and exit. That's basically the stuff we've already seen, where his face is completely impossible to make
in the
out.
Sorensen Center.
And where is that in relation to the amphitheater?
So now we've got Chick-fil-A, then we've got Dairy Queen, then we've got barbecue later.
Side of the amphitheater. It would
Just eating a
be,
lot of food. It's hungry work
on the
being a
upper
patsy.
back edge of the amphitheater, the east side of campus.
Then we get to black shirt guy with jeans on that is allegedly the same person, though there's no clear evidence given to corroborate that it is the same person. There's nothing tying one person to the other than that they appear to be the same person and that they're telling us it's the same person. But it's not like we have not seen black shirt guy with the vehicle. We haven't seen maroon shirt guy change into black shirt clothes. We don't have any way to tie black shirt guy to maroon shirt guy other than circumstantial. They say so, just to clarify. And now comes the limp and the skinny jeans that apparently are holding a disassembled Mauser rifle. So his left leg obviously bends a lot. It's this right leg that we're being told has the rifle in it. And honestly, this is the best frame I've seen so far. I can't really zoom in my QuickTime player any better. Maybe we'll try to zoom in on this part in the video we watch in a second. But honestly, right here, this is the closest I've seen to something that looks like a straight object in his pants.
Guys, I'm sure a lot of you have already seen this, but I'm going to play it anyway because I think it's important for my transcript. Put a 1 in the chat if you know what's coming. And it's really funny watching Ian catch it live. Well, recorded.
At all during this whole process so far.
Why? Well, let me ask.
Because the claim is that he has a rifle down this leg of his pants. That's the claim.
I do, yes.
Okay. And why do you believe it's Mr. Robinson?
The shoes are the same, and the images that we have are from my view.
So now the belief is that the right pant leg contains the rifle.
And seeing Mr. Robinson on the video.
Yes, and he's saying that because his left knee is clearly bending.
It's the same person.
He's noticeably wearing different clothing.
This
He
is at
wearing different
11:55
clothing,
a.m.
And he also is walking with a gait or a limp in this video.
With a gait?
But wait a minute.
From my viewing and
So again,
seeing Mr. Robinson
it's suspect's
on video,
left leg
it's the same
bends,
person.
right leg stays straight.
He's noticeably wearing different clothing.
He is wearing different clothing, and he also is walking with a gait
Again,
or a limp
right
in
leg
this
staying
video.
straight.
With a gait or what?
Limp.
Now what do we see?
Does Mr. Robinson come?
You know what we see? We see him switching legs that he's limping with and the other knee bending. Because, yeah, of course, right? That makes sense. He also looks a little taller in that footage than what I saw before, but we'll get back to that.
Coming up the stairs of the parking structure. Again, he seems to be having issues walking.
Keeping his face hidden. So this is where we got the still frames that were released the day of. This is where they come from, is this video. And seeing the video, honestly, makes me more open to the argument that there's something down those pant legs.
Are you
possibly.
sure, Ian?
Like this, seeing this video, I think it doesn't strengthen, like it doesn't do a whole lot to me, to my perspective. But it doesn't like strengthen the idea that it's totally debunked that this person had something in his pants legs. Because seeing it in motion is a little more clear than still images.
And again, we're able to track. We're able to track Mr. Robinson when he leaves this parking structure.
Yes, we were.
Wait, what? Now it seems to be the right leg is bending and the left leg is straight.
When he leaves this parking structure.
Yes.
Right? Now his right leg is the one bending and his left leg is straight. Or supposed to be straight. That's like his limping leg.
At least he's still a little taller.
So when he leaves the parking structure.
Am I crazy here, guys? I'm contradicting what I just said. I just said that the video makes me willing to admit that maybe there is something in his pants legs. Because watching him walk with that, right leg limp is pretty consistent throughout this whole first clip when he's walking up the stairs and up into the thing. But then they include this other clip at the end where the limp seems to have switched legs.
Mr. Robinson.
So there was right leg was stiff, left leg was bending. And
when
now
he leaves this parking structure.
Clearly right leg is the one bending and left leg feels stiff. And I have to point out that this is in a moment where he might not realize there's a camera behind him because he's kind of getting out of the stairwell. So, I mean, this is 11:56. So this is still when he's supposed to have the same gun in the same pant leg. And it definitely, the limp is significantly different in this clip, different leg than in the other clip.
Yes, we were able to.
Like that last piece right there.
And again, we're able to track.
Guys, do me a favor, please. If you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video because I'm pretty sure that this is going to be the only video that you need. Like the whole compilation of videos and ex-posts to completely debunk the narrative once and for all. The only thing missing is Baron. Hold on. I know I got Baron here somewhere. Let me find it.
To the extent.
There he is. The man himself. Baron!
The SBI, the State Bureau of Investigation, is involved. All you in Utah, you're prosecuting Tyler Robinson. To the extent the Utah County prosecutors involved, all you in Utah County, you are trying to kill Tyler Robinson. And you should demand better. You should demand better. There should be no unexplained gaps in the footage. There should be no deceptive edits shuffling things around in the wrong order. There should be no edits at all. Just play the video. Here's everything we have. There should be no question of who he met with from TPUSA. Here's the footage of him meeting with someone at TPUSA. There should be no question he ate at Chick-fil-A. Here's the footage of him in the Chick-fil-A. Here's his credit card receipt. Instead, we're not getting any of that. Instead, we're told that Charlie Kirk's security team calls Ben Shapiro team while Charlie Kirk is dying in their laps. Is that consistent with trying to get him to the hospital as quickly and safely as possible? Is that consistent with trying to take all the life-saving measures necessary to save his life on the way? That call couldn't have waited 10 minutes? You couldn't have waited till you rolled up to the hospital and got him on a stretcher and got him in the operating room, got him in the safe hands of a capable physician and supporting staff, nurses who know what they're doing, and assistants who know what they're doing. You couldn't have waited 10 minutes to call Ben's team. I think Ben Shapiro was trying to get out of something, got out in front of something. If we're going to be going to trial, if this guy is going to stubbornly stay alive, this Tyler Robinson, if he's not going to go out by in a hail of gunfire before he turns himself in, if he's not going to off himself before he goes and does his preliminary hearing or trial, if he's just going to insist on showing up to trial and cross-examining everybody on the evidence and putting everything in and subpoenaing records, if he's going to look at the cell phone records of all 5 people who were in that SUV to figure out what they were doing, were they taking life-saving measures? Did they call the hospital and let them know they were on the way? Did they call 911 and let them know they were on the way? Did they do anything at all to try to save Charlie Kirk's life? Because those things would be consistent with it. But if you're Ben Shapiro and you know that's coming, if you know the defense is going to do those things, and they're going to look at the cell phone records and they're going to say, well, what's this number? This call was made between when Charlie Kirk went down at 12:23 and when they showed up at the hospital at 12:45. Who is this? And they know that number is going to go back to a member of Ben Shapiro's team. Well, you got to get out in front of that.
And guys, don't forget, we're talking about the same Ben Shapiro that was making those snooty faces at Charlie Kirk the day before he was killed. Because Charlie Kirk was telling him that you know who runs the media and asking him about Gaza. The same Ben Shapiro that couldn't wait to say that he was going to pick up Charlie's bloody microphone and carry on the message. Even though Charlie was a Christian who put Jesus first. And Ben Shapiro, well, not a Christian, who just believes that Jesus was a regular Jew that got killed for his troubles, just like other people back then for rebelling against the Romans, like he said on Joe Rogan's show. So, yeah, it's a little sus.
You can't just wait for that bomb to drop in open court when this case goes to trial. You can't wait for that to leak out from the defense while they're preparing for trial. You can't wait for that to come up maybe in the preliminary hearing if somebody says, oh, and by the way. And why haven't we heard from anybody on Charlie Kirk's security team during this preliminary hearing? They were the closest witnesses. They would be able to tell you where they heard a gunshot come from. Why haven't we heard from any witnesses who were there? All we're hearing from is the cops who investigated. Where's the medical examiner? Where's the doctor? Do you have to have those things to establish probable cause? I think so, in my opinion. I think so. Because if you're going to get past probable cause, you can't just have only government actors up there talking. And then Lance Twiggs, who wasn't even there. That doesn't work. That doesn't work at all. Not one person who was at the event that day is going to say anything? Oh, but we're going to be awfully transparent, says Erica Kirk's attorney. We demand transparency, but we don't object to you not hearing from Mike Mitchell. No. We don't need you seeing what he had to say. And we don't want to hear from anybody who was there that day. We don't want to hear from Dan Flood or Brian Harpole. We don't want to hear from Rick Cutler. We don't want to hear from Frank Turek. You don't want to hear from any of these people.
Or Mikey McCoy, Terrell Farnsworth, Hunter Kozak, who personally I would love to ask a couple questions because he had some weird stuff going on that day. Or Blake Neff. Blake Neff, the one who's not going to tell anybody who the guy who's not Tyler Robinson that showed up in the car that doesn't belong to Tyler Robinson that met with the TPUSA staff and doesn't want to say anything. Not only that, he was on the X Spaces trying to say that he wasn't even a witness or he wasn't a main witness, trying to distance himself from having to testify altogether. He'd be at the top of my list right now. And I reached out to him. I sent him a DM. I told him, you want to have a good faith conversation? Let's go. You could even bring Myron Gaines. It's okay.
The people who saw the injury. We're only going to hear from government people and Lance Twiggs, who, in my opinion, may be a government person himself. Certainly seems to be protected like one. His DNA was at the scene as well. He had access to all of Tyler's stuff. All the stuff they found in Tyler's house, they also found in Lance Twiggs' house. Targets, the tools, the Dremel that they allegedly was used to grind messages on the bullets. That was Lance Twiggs' house too. Has Lance Twiggs given a decent alibi for where he was that afternoon before? We know the next morning he allegedly was at his mom's birthday party, which for some reason was being celebrated at 9 a.m., a weird time to celebrate a birthday, but 8 a.m., whatever. But where was he the night before? Where was he the day before? Has anyone asked? It would be nice to ask him on the stand. We're not going to get that, though.
Guys, I'm sorry. We're going to have to rewind.
Was done on a...
I messed up, guys. That was supposed to be the closing statement, but there was another part right before that. That's actually kind of important. And this is probably going to be half where I'm going to end the show. But here we go. The final piece of evidence that I think that we need to debunk the narrative and prove once and for all that this was in fact a conspiracy.
Key piece of evidence we looked at earlier. A height checking that was done on a key piece of evidence earlier. So let me get to that now, because Diligent Denizen has done what I consider pretty good work here. We had a question of whether or not Tyler Robinson was the guy in the parking garage earlier. Well, Diligent Denizen went out and measured it off. And he found from the same angle, from the same spot, that 5'11" is what Tyler Robinson's height's listed at, and this guy is listed well above, or this guy appears to be well above 5'11", probably by 2, 3, 4 inches. Because that right there, that marker right there is the 5'11" mark, and he's well above.
And shout out to Brandy and Teresa, because they were the ones that set up this camera and took this shot of this other gentleman to do this measurement. But what if the camera angle was off? What if it wasn't perfect? What if there's like a discrepancy? Right? I mean, you never know.
Of that mark. It's something to consider. I know I jumped around there to get that, but I just saw it and wanted to mention it here. So Tyler Robinson being 5'10", 5'11", not well above 6 feet. Not well above 6 feet. All right, let me go to his testimony. Said, we had a question of how did he get there so fast? Did he drive? Because, again, the documentation we had that was publicly released in sworn statements was that Brian Davis arrested him at 10 p.m. He was arrested by Brian Davis at 10 p.m. I showed you that document a minute ago. And so I had no reason to doubt that. I have no reason to doubt these people's sworn statements. I didn't think I had any. But it turns out that's not true at all. It says he flew into St. George. Well, we found the plane. And this plane landed around 11:37 p.m. It landed in St. George around 11:37 p.m., which is consistent with his testimony today that he landed around 11:30. So that'd be like a 7-minute difference there. That would be a 7-minute difference. And then you got to drive from here over to here because the sheriff's office is in Hurricane over here. I have no idea why they didn't fly into the Hurricane airport since they're going there, but they flew into St. George for some reason. St. George, and then drove to Hurricane. And we'd had that flight from the beginning. We'd long suspected somebody from the state flew in on that plane. It's a state plane. The state plane. Tomorrow, we will look at some other places that plane has been and some other places other planes have been that seem to line up and be very interesting to me. They're very Kind of his nipple area here is just below this second dot. This guy turns.
Sorry.
His eyes are well below the break. And his nipple area is down here, well below where the other one was. I'll go back and let you see it again. They don't look like the same person to me. They look like different people. I've looked at their gait. You can only share so much on a given show. I don't want to.
Sorry, I was waiting for that part to pop up. I'm like, wait, where the hell is this? I know it was here. Let me pull it again.
Pretty good as well. These are supposed to be the same person walking through the same parking deck. You'll notice this guy's eyes are kind of even with his brake, and you'll notice right here as he turns this corner, kind of his nipple area here is just below this second dot. This guy turns, his eyes are well below the brake, and his nipple area is down here, well below where the other one was. I'll go back and let you see it again. They don't look like the same person to me. They look like different people. I've looked at their gait. You can only share so much on a given show. I don't want to overwhelm everybody. One of them walks more on the toes. One of them walks more on the heels. And if you know what a toe walker is, Jesse on Fire pointed me to this. If you know what a toe walker is, you'll know what I'm talking about. Somebody who's very heavy on the toes, soft on the heels, as opposed to somebody who leads with the heel and then goes with the toe. The gait is fun.
They do look different because they are different people. Those are different people. The person in the maroon and the person in black are not the same person. The car that pulled into UVU and the car that was in Tyler Robinson's driveway are not the same car. The bullet that they say was used to unalive Charlie Kirk was not the same bullet. The only piece of physical evidence on the scene that could possibly be connected to this murder was not the same caliber round. There is no footage, no clear, definitive footage of Tyler Robinson that has been released by this prosecution. There is no clear footage or definitive image of a weapon used to unalive Charlie Kirk. And just think, everybody's always hating on Candace, and I've been sitting here for 2 hours completely picking apart this case after sitting through it for a whole damn week, sweating my fucking balls off and sleep deprived. And we didn't even need Candace. But you know what we did need Candace for? And I know I played it before, but it was supposed to be the moment now. Fuck. But you know what we did need Candace for? Oh, no, wrong one. Man, why do I keep doing this? There we go. I'm going to have to do some editing after this. But we needed Candace to get the only picture of Tyler Robinson that was taken that day, or that's been released. And listen, I know that there's so much more that I could play. There's so much more to debunking this theory and this narrative and whatnot. But I'm only going to play one more video, and then I'm going to read some super chats, and I'm going to wrap it up. Shout out to Jesse on Fire. Shout out to Jesse on Fire. Listen, I don't know what happened to Charlie Kirk that day. I think he's probably gone, even though there's really no evidence of the person that they're saying is responsible for him not being with us anymore. But Jesse on Fire has stuck to his laurels, and he's had his own theories. And no, this is not the Charlie is still alive theory, but this is another theory. So we're gonna end it on this.
So coming out of this trial, the obvious takeaway is that the key witness, Lance Twiggs, could have easily done everything that they say that Tyler Robinson did. He also looks exactly like the guy who is in the videos, and we did an AI analysis, and it picked Lance over Tyler in all 6 facial features that it analyzed. But there's another piece of this. aside from the fact that his DNA is on every single piece of evidence, along with Tyler Robinson's. It's that no one is asking themselves, well, what was Lance doing the day that Charlie was killed? And I think everyone missed that part of his testimony for some reason, because he answered that question. His alibi for what he was doing while Charlie was getting shot at UVU is sleeping. So Tyler left at 7 a.m. And according to Lance in his testimony, he woke up at 1 p.m. I noticed that when he said it because I made fun of him about sleeping so late. And then it dawned on me afterwards, wait a minute, he says he woke up at 1 p.m. So he could have just killed the guy. There's no one to verify that he's in bed until 1. That's his alibi. He's asleep till 1. Just something to think about, you know, in addition to the fact that the handwriting on the note appears to be his that was supposedly Tyler's. You have the fact that text messages happened at midnight, which very easily could have been him stealing Tyler's phone and then doing it himself. You also had the Discord logs where he also confessed, supposedly, Lance also has access to the Discord. And I mean, what else, man? I don't know. I'm forgetting a bunch of stuff. Oh, he attacked his grandparents with a knife, according to sources. I don't know, man. You tell me.
So, chat, what do you guys think happened? What do you guys think happened? Yep, my mic's still on. Just had to make sure for a second. Now, I do want to show you one more post, one more thing today, because I found this to be very interesting, because I've had about a half a dozen sources that have been to that in that courtroom this week. And one of them told me something very interesting. Sources say when the courts were adjourned yesterday, Erica Kirk made it a point to stand up, staring at the judge with her mascara running. I can't say for sure how long she stood there, but I am told it appeared as though she was trying to make an impression on the judge and caused the delay for everyone to leave. Erica Kirk has gone viral multiple times for her signature tissues, but yesterday she made it a point to let her mascara run and left a sealed package of tissues under the seat. I am also hearing that she was seen wearing a ring with a gold band and an Eastern Star. If you're not familiar, the Eastern Star is strongly linked to Freemasonry. After a full week of preliminary hearings, we have been left with more questions than answers. I'll do my best to find the truth, but I'm afraid that there are very powerful people and dangerous people that are going to do what they have to do in order to keep what really happened that day from getting out. The image of the ring below is not the image of the actual ring, but one that resembles the one that she was allegedly wearing. Now, people have commented, and they brought up a good point, that when Erica was given the Medal of Freedom for Charlie, that she was given a little replica that she made a ring of. I sent this individual a picture of that ring, the Medal of Freedom, and they said no. They said the one that they saw her wearing had the colors, not exactly to this one, but a little similar. So you guys can take that for whatever. But I hope you guys enjoyed. That's going to be it. I'm going to read a couple of these super chats, and then I'm going to go. Let's see. Keats, $2. Go effing Max, brother. Thank you very much. I think I did. Chat, do me a favor. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that I went Max tonight. And again, if you haven't already, please like and share the video. Get it out there so everybody can know what didn't happen on September 10th and what did happen this week at the preliminary hearing. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support the channel, you could become a member. You could gift memberships. I do a lot of members-only lives where I bring surprise guests and we shoot the shit. Sometimes we troll these little X spaces. You never know. Maybe we'll run into another Blake Neff type situation. It'll be fun, I promise. It's up to you, though. We got death, $2. Test shot cartridge was fired. Oh, it was? That's news to me. Mesh, member for 4 months. Where's the metadata proof? He was texting his lover. Love, Jimmy, and chat. Well, we love you too, Mesh. Thank you. Jane Doe, $5. Hey, did you know that the team added the trial files to web today? I haven't had a chance to look through them yet. Yes, I am aware. I did not get to go through that yet because I spent all week trying to get this episode together and, take notes and everything. So I'm like, no, I'm not. I'll do a whole episode dedicated to web where I could cross-reference this transcript to what's in web, and then I can make a whole other episode with everything that I left out. I think that's the way to do it because I'm sure I left a ton out. I've only been going for 2 hours. I probably spent a half hour coughing and trying to click through the videos. There was about 40 plus hours of preliminaries, so there's going to be a lot to cover. Jess Happy, $20. Thank you very much. You using Ian's web? Yes, sir. If so, you are doing great. No, guys, I'm not his mom, but I could be. Love seeing young, good men take a stand for truth. Great job, young B. Thank you very much. And again, no, I have not used web yet for this specific case, but I am going to. Critter, member for 2 months. Love watching Bays get fired up. He speaks out what I've been screaming in my head. Keep up the good work, Jimmy. P.S. You'd make my list any day. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, apparently I was on a stream with a bunch of other handsome fellows, and I did not make the handsome list. There was like a top 5 handsome list. I was number 6, and I did not make it. But in all fairness, it was a man that made that list. I forgot who it was, but, just saying. Can't be too offended. I don't give a damn. $2. Thank you. I need that prompt. Would love to connect because I need. Well, DM me on X. I don't know what prompt you're talking about. If you're referring to the one where I pull up the links, it's actually real easy. Just copy and paste the video into your AI, copy and paste the transcripts with the timestamps, and just tell it that you need timestamps and links. It's very simple. Anybody could do it. And I'm not a gatekeeper. I will share all my secrets so that, God forbid, anything does happen to me, you guys are able to pick up my bloody keyboard, as Ben Shapiro would say, and take over. Edge, $5. Thank you very much. Joining late, sir. Where were you today? Thanks for covering this week. We appreciated y'all helping us endure all the bull butter. What a circus. Yeah, man, those 5-6 man panels are just like too much. And it's really hard for me to sit there for 9 hours and not talk and have, I'm sure it's very stressful for Trigger Smart too, wondering if I'm going to go off at any minute. He's got to be ready to mute me. So, we said that it's better to have less people. Plus they had the girls on today. I wanted to prep for this show tonight to get everything in order. It was better this way. Believe me. Edge, $2. Thank you very much. That's what I think. Lance Twiggs projecting his actions on Tyler Robinson. Could be. Valhalla with the big super, $50. Believe all trans furries. TPUSA 2026. Oh, man. Thanks a lot, bud. I appreciate everything you do. Just Travelers, $5. Tyler's parents said in a police statement, and they said Tyler and Lance starting to get into politics. Starting? I don't know. Awakening gifted 1 membership. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Shauna, $5. You should start a gauze cause to purchase 36 feet of gauze just to see how much gauze they say they used. In 17 seconds, and was able to wipe off the blood without anybody seeing, and then haul Charlie to the car while he's not bleeding out of his mouth when he gets hit in the soft tissue of the neck with a 30-06 that does not create an exit wound. I don't know if I can reenact that whole situation, but we'll see. Just Travel is $5 again. Thank you very much. Hey, Bays, I sent you a message on Instagram about Lance. I will check that out later. Jackie Jack, new member. Thank you very much. You won't regret it, I promise. Edge, another $5. Thank you. TF. Oh, Tara Farnsworth took the cards, gave them to his bud, who stashed them under his hat like Spy Boy, who abruptly walked away. Why would they even accept it altered? You know, that is a very good question, and I really hope that Tyler Robinson's attorneys ask Terrell Farnsworth himself. Freedom Sherry, $20. Thank you very much. Just showing some support. I am bored and saw you on. Thanks, dude. Well, thank you for being here. Allegedly Jared, $5. Thank you. I appreciate how you tell it like it is without censoring yourself. Keep up the good work, my guy. Yeah, no, I'm not really that good at censoring myself. Only when I'm streaming with, you know, certain people. I try to keep it, you know, PG and gentleman-like. I don't give a damn, new member. Oh, we're going to have fun. Don't you worry. And I heard that you have some videos about Lance Twiggs that I have not checked out yet, but I'm definitely going to. Cloudy, $5. Love your show, and thanks for your coverage this week. Well, thank you guys, too. I appreciate you guys for watching. I appreciate everybody who watched tonight. Edge, another $2. You got my vote. Zach is too pretty. It's funny. Tanya, $2. Just say 2 Utes. 2 Utes? Why? Because of my accent? Oh, that's funny. That is funny. All right. Well, thank you very much, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. I'm going to go put my AC in because I am sweating like a pig. And like I said, again, one more time, don't forget to like and share this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern time, it's the They Think You're Stupid podcast with myself, RealBayes, and Danks, the original Dankster. It's going to be a great show. We're going to be covering this subject, obviously. And I'm going to see what I left out and what Danks got cooking up his sleeve. And we're going to put on a great show. He's also doing a members only in the, I believe, morning, early afternoon, depending on your time zone. So definitely check that out. And like I always say, guys, be kind, be grateful, do something nice for somebody, and pray. You know, pray to Jesus, pray for your family, pray for your enemies, and pray for Erica Kirk, because I really hope she finds Jesus. Because if she doesn't, I'm pretty sure she's going to hell. Good night, everybody. Love you guys. Thank you.